Hello everybody, this is a lesson for Julian Lage Nocturne acoustic version, solo version of the song as he played in Manchester. I had a privilege to see Julian Lage in London live with the solo acoustic set, and it was absolutely amazing. And this version of Nocturne instantly caught my attention, and it's absolutely amazing, so I decided to learn it, especially that I kind of love the song, the melody and harmony, but was never brave enough to arrange it for solo guitar myself. I think the melody is very clear and we don't have to discuss and play it, and everyone who is interested in Julian music knows the melody, but always have it in mind to keep the melody on front dynamically. This song is played using hybrid picking, as always when Julian plays solo. He uses all his fingers. So if you think like, hey, I need to use my pinky in my right hand to pick up 4-note chords, yes, that is correct. So if you are not very familiar with that, maybe try to practice. The song has a swing feel or a triplet feel, but in some places Julian plays it like more swinging and less swinging, and even in some places it's like straight 8 notes. For example, in bar number 3, this quadruplet is basically notating that those are straight 8s. So the beginning of the song goes like this. Very nice. It's a series of hammer-ons. Then plucking all 3 strings. And here. So in time. All the notes before I'm swinging, playing. And those are even 8 notes. If I would play it with swing feel, that would be like something like this. But with straight 8s, it's... Overall, the feel of this song is like laid back or a bit lagging behind the beat, and it's not very metronomically straight, this interpretation of the song. Regarding hybrid picking, in a lot of places the pick will play the bass, and your middle and ring finger will play the melody on top using sixths. So we have here bass and here the interval of sixth, and you need to play it in a way that the bass, even though the bass is played with the pick, it is not overwhelming or not on top of the melody. So we have. In bar number 6 and number 14, there is a bend, like kind of a quarter bend, not a semitone, that you need to do with your pinky. Because your first and ring finger will be occupied by playing those notes. So bar number 6 goes like this. Starts with a quite big stretch. So I'm talking about this. And what I realized is actually it's good to just shake your guitar. Quite heavy on the finger, and when I was practicing the song I realized that I'm starting to have some ache in this part of the hand, so be careful with that. There is also a micro bend in the bar 27, which is like a variation of the melody. And another one. So it goes like this. A lot of bending, and this fourth finger is really occupied doing this. I think one fingering that might be helpful to mention is the one that is in bar 8 and bar 16, because you need to keep this E flat note ringing So if you look, there is an A approach note. So I propose to get this stretch, so you can have the bass ringing. And then you put a barré. But this is important, that you use the index finger to go from A to B flat, and then the dynamics of the song is very important. Even like in the melody, there is a key signature change, and with that goes a big difference in dynamics. So we go from starting, let's say, from bar 16, you go, and here so when the key changes back, it's like almost instantly going to a more piano. So we'll have, and those trills and pull-offs are quite tricky to do. Then we go into the improvisation part. That improvisation is very tricky and hard to learn, and also have like a very different dynamic ranges and approaches and feelings. So it's a bit hard to go through all of that. Things are worth mentioning are you need to be in control of switching between 8th notes and 16th notes, because there is like, for example, in the bar 44, so we start with 5 8th notes, and we go into the 16ths. Similar thing is happening in bar 46. And also here in bar 46, make sure that this G flat major is played close to the bridge. That's one for the sound. So it kind of gets this bite. But also, don't play it like this, because then you need to change finger. I found that playing this without the barré is more convenient for me. And after that goes again 2 8th notes and 4 16ths. So you have this like. Bar 49 might be a bit tricky, because there is a lot of pull-offs that you need to do while keeping the bass note. I use second finger to have the bass ringing, and then and so on. Very interesting part when we come again to the verse, which is this kind of like a polyphonic improvisation that starts from the bar 58, which is and this is quite important to get notes a bit muted, but also to keep the high notes ringing. So then there is a bar 64, which has I think it's like a bit of a joke phrase from Julian, and it's also important how you attack the string. And this is how the phrase goes, without, let's say, proper articulation. But what you need to do is like pick quite close to the bridge, and also add a bit of vibrato to this E note that you push with third finger. This is how the phrase should sound. And here at bar 66, I think comes the hardest part of the whole song. At least it was the hardest for me. I will try to play this passage very slow, so maybe you can copy my fingerings or use it for practice. It is a tough one to play. In bar 84, we have a interesting variation on the melody of the chorus. So we have this chord moving down from C9 to B9 to B flat. But this time Julian will play the artificial harmonics of the highest four strings. So how it's done, we play the chord. And then you need to grab the pick with your index finger, and at least that's how I do it. So let's try to play it very slow, and notice how I'm changing fingers that I hold the pick. So here the index finger touches the string to get an artificial harmonic, and in middle and thumb are keeping the pick. So an interesting thing happens in bar number 90. I'm not sure if that was a mistake, and if it was a mistake, it was very, very well made. Is that B minor chord that starts the verse of the song, but this time Julian plays major. And what he does after that is like realizing, oh, that's major. So here, instead of regular major, he's putting also a interesting chord, which is a major 7 with raised fifth. So A instead of A flat, and get this sound. So it's like a that's surprising. Oh, that's mysterious. And then he goes back to playing the song. In bar 93, there's a quite difficult legato thing to play, because it's like a 16th legato that so you need to like scratch your whole hand on the fretboard. At the end of the song, starting from bar 90, we play the melody with a little bit of variation, and then we slow down around bar number 95, 96, and we play So what is that? Basically here we are doing this stretch because this is like the same note, but we want to approach it from a half step below to get this kind of dissonant sound that gets resolved. And then we do some chromatic that is basically based on D flat major. So here is like a fifth. So it's not exactly a chord with approach notes, but something like this. At the end we do the hammer-on with index finger playing D flat on A string. So I hope you enjoyed the content that I create. Thanks for supporting me. If you have any questions about the song, you know how to find me. Yep, and I hope that was useful. Have a great day and enjoy learning a solo version of Nocturne by Julian Lage. Goodbye.